What's up guys, it's Danta. Now a couple of days ago, someone reminded me to clear Zekvir on the hardest difficulty, since all of the rewards for it will be gone whenever Season 2 starts. Now a lot of people were saying it's super hard, even harder than the Mage Tower challenges, so I had to check it out myself. Now honestly, I think it's actually easier than the Mage Tower challenges, but it's still hard. Not because the boss is complicated or anything, but because the fight itself is just annoying. It is RNG based, and the camera makes it even worse. If you get too close to a wall, you might get hit by something without even noticing it. Now to make things a bit more manageable, you can use this command in game. This will let you zoom out much further, making it easier to see what's happening. I will also have this command in the description below, so you can just copy and paste it. Oh, and it also depends on Brann if the fight gets easier or not. If he hates you and decides to not do what he's supposed to do, you will have a bad time. I managed to kill Zekvir within a few attempts on my Windwalker monk. No add-ons, no food, and no drums. So I just wanted to make a short guide for you guys who still need to get the rewards for soloing Zekvir on the hardest difficulty. So for those that have no idea how to unlock the hardest difficulty for Zekvir, it's pretty simple. First you need to complete a tier 8 delve and kill Zekvir on his easier difficulty. You will even get a quest for it, so you can't miss it. After killing Zekvir for the first time, you will need to clear a tier 9 and tier 10 delve. As long as you complete those with at least one life remaining, you will be able to head back to Zekvir's lair and challenge him on the hardest difficulty. So, like I said before, I did this on a Windwalker monk. I haven't done any endgame content since before the Siren Isles patch, so my gear isn't anything special. Some pieces have enchants, but that's basically about it. Now I will show you my Windwalker monk talents and gameplay, but the fight itself stays the same for every class. That said, some classes will definitely have an easier time, especially those that can easily remove snares and have a short interrupt cooldown. So classes like, for example, a Red Paladin, DK, Windwalker Monk, Frostfire Mage, DPS Demon Hunter and Destro Warlock will have a better time with this fight. Now my monk was item level 613, but if you handle the mechanics properly, you should be able to do this at any item level above 600. Now of course, it also depends on how squishy your class is. So these are the talents that I used for this fight. As a Windwalker Monk, you have 3 talents that can remove the slow Zekvir casts on you. You have Tiger's Lust, Diffuse Magic, and a passive talent called Swift Art. Other than that, there's nothing special about this talent tree. It's just a simple single target build. Now if you are playing another class, you should focus on talents that give you immunity to slows and snares. Maybe reduce your interrupt cooldown. And if your class is really squishy, consider picking up some extra defensives as well. So, before we finally get into the fight, we gotta talk about Brann. He is the one who can literally make this fight either a lot easier or a lot harder. Now, like I mentioned at the start, this fight is kinda RNG based. If Brann is having a mental breakdown, he will stand in everything that he's not supposed to, delay throwing healing potions, or sometimes just do literally nothing for a while. But if he's having a good day, he will make the fight a lot easier by keeping you healed, sometimes even throwing a dispel on you, and giving you a dino that helps you do more damage. Now if you are going to do this on a DPS, you will want to set him up as an healer. This makes him throw healing flasks around you during the fight, which heal you for a huge amount whenever you walk through them. Now the curios that I used were the Amorphous Relic and Unbreakable Iron Idol. This is basically the setup that I always have whenever I'm soloing delves, and it worked great for Zekvir as well. The Time Lost Relic or Light Touched Idol could also be great choices. Now if you are doing this on a tank, then you might want to set Brann up as a DPS so that he can help you deal with the ads. And if you are doing this on a healer, then well, honestly, I have no clue. I guess you want to set him up as a DPS instead of a healer. While fighting Zekvir whenever he's above 60% HP, he will use 6 abilities. He's going to cast Claw Smash, Horrendous Roar, and Angler's Web. These are super easy to deal with, just don't stand in them. If you get hit, you are dead. Regenerating Carapace, make sure to interrupt this or he will heal himself. Enfeebling Spittle, this is the ability that slows you and deals damage over time. Don't waste your interrupt on it, just remove the debuff using a snare or magic dispel ability. Cobweb Terror, this will spawn an egg that hatches into a spider that can one-shot you. We have to nuke it down ASAP. That's everything that you have to deal with in phase 1. Once he reaches 60% HP, he will transition into phase 2. At this point, he will run to the middle of the room and become immune for 10 seconds. In this phase, he gains 3 new abilities. Unending Spikes, which makes spikes shoot out of the ground, just avoid them. Infinite Horror, basically Horrendous Roar, but worse. Instead of just a circle that you have to get out of, you also now have to avoid 4 orbs that will shoot towards you, so make sure to dodge them or you will die. And lastly, when he casts Angler's Web in phase 2, portals will spawn around the room. If you get too close, they will suck you in and kill you. So those are all the mechanics that you have to deal with. It might sound like a lot, but it's actually pretty simple. Alright, so now it's time to fight Zekvir. Now if you want to make it yourself a bit easier, you might want to grab some food, flasks, and drums. I did it without any of that because, well, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot about them. Now, right from the start, I use my burst to get as much damage in as possible. While doing that, you will see Brann throwing healing potions near me. I always run over them for the heal over time effect because Zekvir's auto attacks can sometimes crit you for around 3 million damage. Yeah, if RNGesus isn't on your side, you are going to have a bad time. Now, as a monk, I also have some decent self-healing, which makes surviving a bit easier. While attacking Zekvir, he sometimes casts Horrendous Roar, Claw Smash, or Angler's Web. I just move out of those and get back to DPSing. When he starts casting Regenerating Carapace, I use my interrupt to stop the heal. Most of the time he will cast Cobweb Terror, basically the ability that will summon an egg, before or after his heal. So keep that in mind before rushing to kill the egg if his heal hasn't been cast yet. When he summons the egg, I nuke it down as fast as possible. Now, this is easily the most annoying part of the fight, because sometimes the boss throws all of his garbage ass abilities right on top of the egg that you need to destroy. If that happens while you are playing a melee class, your chances of getting hit while trying to destroy the egg are insanely high. It's one of the main things that kept killing me. Now, the egg is the most important thing that you have to deal with. You have to destroy it before it hatches. If you don't, you can still CC the ad, but the fight will become way harder. So, I always try to have at least one big damage spell ready for whenever an egg spawns. As a monk, you also have Touch of Death, which is insanely useful in this fight for dealing with eggs that you just can't keep hitting because the boss decided to dump all of his abilities on it. Now, after a while, Zekvir is also going to cast Enfeebling Spittle, which slows you and applies a damage over time debuff. I either use Tiger's Lust, Diffuse Magic, or simply use my roll to get rid of it. It is very important that you remove the debuff immediately, or you will probably die. Now, sometimes Brann will dispel it for you, but my advice would be to not count on that happening. So that's basically what I keep doing for phase 1. I dodge everything, interrupt the boss's heal, run through Brann's healing potions to stay alive, get rid of the slow, and kill the ad as fast as possible while trying to keep the boss in the middle of the room. Now at 60%, Zekvir enters phase 2 and moves to the middle of the room. You can use this time to heal up Brann and yourself if needed. He will start using his extra abilities, which aren't too bad to deal with unless he has summoned an egg. If he casts Unending Spikes or Infinite Horror while you are dealing with an egg, it can be a massive pain in the ass, especially if you are playing a melee class. Now in phase 2, interrupting his heal becomes even more important. Instead of healing for 10%, he now heals for 25%. So do not forget to interrupt it. One thing that I didn't know at first is that Brann actually revives himself after a few seconds. Now the reason that I'm saying this is because I made the mistake of trying to res him, which got me killed twice and almost cost me the attempt where I finally killed Zekvir. So if Brann dies whenever Zekvir is low HP, just let him stay down, he will come back on his own, and reviving him just isn't worth the risk. Now eventually after 7 to 8 minutes of dodging, interrupting Zekvir's heal, clearing the slow debuff, killing the eggs, and sometimes keeping myself alive by using a heal, Zekvir finally died. So guys, that's basically how the fight works. This fight was, in my opinion, pretty bad. Not gonna lie, I don't like it. There's way too much RNG stuff involved, plus the camera messing up whenever you get too close to a wall, Brann not doing what he's supposed to, and randomly getting crit for 3 to 4 million. It makes this fight really tedious. Now, the squishier your class is, the harder it's going to be, but once you get the hang of the fight, you will definitely be able to beat it. I did it on a Windwalker monk, but like I said before, the mechanics are the same for every class. You will just have different ways to deal with the slow, interrupts, and other abilities. Anyway, if you managed to kill Zekvir, then congrats on your new title and void customization for your aircraft mount. Now, I hope that this video was helpful for some of you and that you've liked the video. If you did and you want to see more content like this, then please consider subscribing. Also, if you have any questions or suggestions, just let me know in the comment section below. Now, as always, thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.